Hey traders, this is Christian Fromhertz with Tribeca Trade Group with a quick weekend video, and today is Saturday the 6th, so we will do our longer video tomorrow, but I want to talk about one of the major themes that transpired last week and something that's been actually going on for the last couple weeks. So I often listen to other trading rooms videos, and some of them they just talk about the same 5 or 6 stocks. We really try to spot the global trends at Tribeca Trade Group. So this is something that we've been talking about for the last couple weeks, but really this basically reached, I would almost call it a capitulation point in terms of how much inflows went into European stocks last week, specifically European ETFs. They gathered, if you just look at European related ETFs, both ones that are like EZU and VGK, which specifically say Europe, also the individual countries like EWG, HEWG, EWP, EWQ, which is Spain and France. Altogether last week, these ETFs gathered $2.1 billion in assets. When you look at it a step further, and when you look at international developed markets ETFs, so ETFs like EFA, VEA, those also took in a decent amount of money last week. Those took in just about $1.5 billion. So European countries are about 50% of those ETFs. So when you add the two up, we're talking about a lot of money. We're talking about $2.8 billion that went into European, basically European companies last week. That money, so where did that money come from? First of all, basically the U.S. U.S. ETFs had $5.5 billion of outflows last week, and international ETFs saw 5.4 billion. So it was pretty much a one-for-one relationship, and a lot of it was actually SPY that saw the outflows last week. You can see there's $7.8 billion out of the SPY ETF last week. So we've been long now for a while in Europe, and I think I started taking profits right at the end of the week. I'm still holding on to my cash position in FEZ, but I've had on, I believe, since 328, I've been long the FEZ 3741 call spread, and that's been a Tribeca Trade Room trade that we put on back then, and we almost took that off for a double, so about very close to 100% profits in that trade. So if you're not a member of Tribeca Trade Group, this is the type of things that we look at. Of course, we also look at the momentum names, and we'll look at Apple and Facebook, but that's not the only thing that we're doing. And if you've only been trading those names, you've really been doing a disservice to yourself by not looking at the global trends that have been going on. We also hear a lot about, if you turn on CNBC, sorry to call out CNBC again, but they'll every time, while I like the show Fast Money, every time they're talking about the Trump agenda, they spend maybe about 20 seconds on globally what's going on. They'll talk about the same things. They'll talk about the Trump agenda. Are financials going to go up or go down? That's not really what's the story. Even though that's what they're talking about, that's not really the major theme of what's going on around globally. There's a lot of money that is being put to places outside of the US market. So just to show you a couple of charts and why I took profits in some of these on Friday, so first of all, take a look at a 5-year chart of EZU. It's quietly gone from, here's the break of the 200-day moving average, and I have the 5-year chart up here, so just so that you could see basically where this, where we've come from and where we are now. So if you could actually draw a nice trend line in here, and you could basically say, hey, we're back to where we were back in 2014. It's a great place to take profits now that we've recouped all of those losses from 2014 and have done it pretty quickly. So if you go in a little bit closer, if we go to a 1-year chart, on the bottom here is the inflows that have been happening. And this is EZU, which saw the biggest inflow of any ETF on Friday. And you could also see a similar trend in Fez, which is the one that I'm long. This one didn't see quite as big of an inflow on Friday, but you could see it's been building the last couple months. Again, this is all things that we've been talking about the last 2 months. So I think a great place to take profits, which is what I did on Friday in the Fez ETF in options. I'm still long in cash. That one I'm going to sit with, but I think it's a great. I mean, look at how extended we are. If you look at the RSI, which I have that on my Thinkorswim charts, you could see right now, I mean, these things are really, really extended and overbought. You're looking at right now an 82 RSI and EZU. Fez, you're looking at, again, Fez is Euro stocks. And again, a lot of overlap between these ETFs in terms of the companies that they track. But in 81, EUFN right now, which is European Financials, in 80. So there are pockets of names that have not participated yet, which I'm going to talk about one or two of those single names. But a lot of the whole group has been absolutely on fire. We go back to EZU for a minute. Also, you take a look at that purple line. What is that purple line? That's a VPOC. That's a great place to take profits. Price will often act as a magnet up to these levels. It will search for where volume was present in the past, where buyers and sellers have met up before, and that's all the way back here. I think that's what 2014ish. So that's what we took out. Notice we have another one up here in EZU. So you can actually, shoot for this one, but I would wait until this comes down quite a bit. So one chart, the Bloomberg chart that I have is dividend adjusted. This one is not. So you could see that dividend adjusted, going back to the Bloomberg, we're back to those highs. If you don't take into account dividends, you have this VPOC up here. So a little bit difference here, but again, looking at how far we are from even the shorter dated moving averages, look at the 20. The 20 were way above that as well. So look for these things to come in a little bit. If you've missed out in this move, I do think why we've seen you could guess why we've seen the inflows starting the last couple months. My feeling is it's a little bit of a catch-up trade. I think the U.S. Companies comparable to European companies are a little bit overvalued. The European companies have cheaper valuations, and it seems like the financial conditions are improving from where they were a couple years ago. Not to say that they're on fire right now, but just think about it. A couple of years ago, things were pretty bad. Things were looking quite dire. So the fact that things are improving is why you've seen this quick melt up taking place in the European names. Also, coupled with the inflows that we've seen in the last couple of weeks. Last week there was a bunch of European companies that had really good earnings reports as well. So that added more fuel to the fire, which I think is why we saw those inflows accelerate last week. People realized that hey, these companies are doing better than we thought, and there's names like BMW, Adidas. And a couple of the financials. I think BNP had good earnings, SocGen had good earnings as well. So the same story. If you look at we'll continue to look at a couple other charts. You can look at the EWG chart, and you can see it's the same thing. You see nice big inflow there as well. This was a couple $100 million, and going into this one, you could look at France, EWQ. They all kind of look the same. EWP, which has literally been on fire. Same thing with Italy, but Spain has also been absolutely on fire. So couple things that I'm looking at now that these have made major moves. I'm looking for things that are still in an uptrend but are not quite extended, not quite with an RSI of above 80. So for example, look at the Euro ETF. You're looking for something that just got above the 200-day moving average. There it is, the Euro. It's was kind of staying. I've been watching this over the last week because it just got above the 200-day moving average and kind of held in here for a week, and now is making a move here. So again, you look at the 5-year chart. Could have some nice upside here from where we were a couple years ago. So I like a long in the Euro, right above the 200-day moving average. Also, when you start to look at some of the European financials, look at Credit Suisse. You have a nice opportunity here, which full disclosure, I went long Credit Suisse in cash on Friday. So drawing a little bit closer, and you can see that we're right above the 50 and the 100-day moving average. The 50 is going to be my stop here. So I've got a little bit of cushion, but I think worthy considering seeing all the other big companies move up in Europe. I think now look at some that have just started to reclaim these moving averages. Deutsche Bank is another one, but I think Deutsche Bank, just watching the charts, you can see it is breaking out. But I would like to try something else. I was long Deutsche Bank a couple months ago and would like to. Give something else a try. So Credit Suisse is another name. I know we talked about this in the trading room. A lot of other Spanish and European banks are also moving up very quickly, but some of them are already a bit extended. You can look at this one, Santander has just been ripping. You could look at Barclays is not there yet. That's another one that's obviously more in England, but these names are really moving up quickly. So again, if your trading room or whoever you're trading with has not been trading these like we have, give us a try. Try back a trade group. Also if you go to our front page, we also caught the trend right away in robotics. I went in the Robo ETF basically I think about 2 months ago. So these are the trends that we spot, and this is the homework that we do on a daily basis. You could see this trend. We gave a webinar probably a little bit over a month ago on all the names that are in the robotics ETFs. This is the value that we're adding to our subscribers. So if you haven't checked this out before, give us a try. If you just want to, continue to trade, 4 or 5 different names in the U.S., maybe you're happy doing that. But if you're looking for a different type of trading room where we're looking for, global trends, then what you want to do is go to tribecatradegroup.com and sign up for our Elite Trader package. You get our newsletter as well, which talks about all those trends. And you could get involved for half off right now. Right now, if you use coupon code TTG, you could try us out for less than $70 for the first month. So tribecatradegroup.com. Thanks for watching today's video. Have a great weekend.